After N7 Day this year, everyone has been asking, who is the Mystery N7 character? And I did the same thing. I have my own video on this channel pertaining to that very topic. But as I was making the script for that video, I realized that there's a character we're completely overlooking from that trailer. Who is the Mystery Krogan? And that's this Krogan in the background. For a while now, we've been seeing Krogan pop up in each and every one of the teasers. Could it be Grunt? It would actually make a lot of sense for this Krogan to be Grunt. Krogan, after all, live very long lives, some going over 1,000 years. Since this game is probably gonna start 600 years after the original trilogy, that means that Grunt at this point would be just over 600 years old. So if he survived, and you can bet he survived, he would be a middle-aged, well-seasoned warrior. We also know that Liara is probably going to be very prominent in the next game, perhaps needing several agents as the Shadow Broker. And Liara does know Grunt. If you played the Citadel DLC in ME3, you may know that Grunt actually had a little crush on Liara. Anyway, Grunt was biologically designed to be the perfect Krogan by the warlord Okia. He was a formidable fighter straight after being born. It's just that we never got to see his full potential because he was still very young. If you thought Grunt was a good fighter before, imagine what kind of fighter he would be now that he's all grown up and with a ton of experience. It would make a lot of sense for Liara to recruit Grunt, since they already know each other and he's probably the perfect Krogan to fight alongside her. Now this doesn't mean it's definitely Grunt. I'm just saying that it would make a lot of narrative sense if it were. Now, I'm personally not a big fan of randomly reintroducing characters in places that it doesn't make that much sense that they are. Like, I remember the first time we saw Tali in Mass Effect 2. I just kept thinking, damn Tali, what are the odds of bumping into you here? Or when it turned out that Garrus was Archangel, damn, small galaxy. But this time it would make a lot of narrative sense if Grunt was working with Liara. Of course, it is completely possible that this is a whole new character, one that we have never seen before. But the purpose of this video is just to show that it is quite possible that Grunt could be this mystery character. And I'm sure there are many fans who would be interested in seeing what happened to our big Krogan boy, who was still figuring out his place in the galaxy. In fact, I think that much of the player base would be remiss if we didn't see Grunt, or at least heard of him. I personally doubt that this is Wrex. It is true that the Krogan we have seen so far does seem to have some of the coloring of Wrex's armor, but after 600 years, I just don't see Wrex still being around. We know that Krogan can live very long lives, but by the time we meet Wrex in the original trilogy, he's already quite old, at least 1,000 years old by some estimates. And since Krogan rarely live past 1,000, it's fairly likely that Wrex is either on his last legs or not around anymore. Anyway, that was just a quick pet theory that I had while making my previous video. If you like the content, please consider liking and subscribing. But until next time, see you in space, cowboy.